You're going to take a short trip back in time, so do me a favor and close your eyes for a moment. I promise it'll be momentary. Take yourself back as far as you can and imagine yourself as a child. It's probably somewhere between the ages of 7 to 11. And think back to a time when you played with your favorite toy. When you can identify that toy, go ahead and open your eyes. All of us had something. Might have been a doll, a race car, maybe it's your favorite bike, could be a handheld CD player or a Walkman if any of us age ourselves. But imagine knowing that from a young age, because you chose that toy, you're classified as different. Simply due to that choice, due to the things that you seem most curious about. Maybe that toy is a color or a design that society says is not for you. And at times you hear people around you refer to these toys and these different choices in a negative way when they refer to them. Maybe they even use derogatory terms when referring to that toy choice. And as you grow up, you learn to fear this difference, that it might affect your ability to be successful in life. Can you be happy? Can you get a job? Those toy choices might even be called wrong or a phase. Some of us may pray to whatever higher being we have that we just want to be normal, to be accepted for that toy that we chose. As you get older, you watch your differences become topics of national debate, maybe get classified as breakthrough on television shows and movies. And can you imagine, as a child, the weight on your shoulders that you have with all of this pressure? So since we're time travelers today, and we're using our imagination, we're going to go fast forward 20 years from your childhood and talk about your first job. And let's call it your first real adult job, whatever that might mean for you. You're nervous about whether or not you have the expertise you need, whether your coworkers and other people at your office will accept you, they'll appreciate you, and everything that you bring to the table. The way you act, the way you dress, the way you speak. Can you place photos of your loved ones on your desk without any fear of repercussion? We all have those nerves when it comes to starting something new. Yet, those of us who have seen the inside of a closet know a deeper struggle than this. Not being allowed or comfortable enough to share who we really are. And from personal experience, I can tell you that nobody deserves to live in a closet. Activist Alexander Leon so gracefully said, "Queer people do not grow up as ourselves. We grow up playing a version of ourselves that sacrifices authenticity to minimize humiliation and prejudice." So while we all may have nerves when starting something new, over time, most of us usually begin to engage with those around us, sharing personal anecdotes, stories, families, and friends. You begin to feel more comfortable. However, this isn't the reality for everybody today. I've personally experienced this fear of sharing information with new coworkers, unsure that my existence is acceptable to them. So what does somebody do when there's no one to turn to? When they don't have a safe space, when they don't know what resources to look for, and they have no community? Over the last 5 years, I've dedicated my efforts to building a stronger and more equitable community here in Manchester, New Hampshire, as the president of Manchester True Collaborative. We're a volunteer-based organization right in downtown New Hampshire, committed to creating inclusive spaces. So I want to share with you what my vision is for the next generation of LGBTQ+ centers. And for those who need a refresher, LGBTQ+ stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer or questioning. And that beautiful plus symbol at the end stands for the diverse spectrum of all kinds of sexual orientations, gender identities, and many expressions beyond those categories. You might be surprised to know that LGBT centers have long been sanctuaries for people seeking safety and solidarity. In the 60s and 70s, these centers were critical lifelines for people, and then later on during the HIV and AIDS pandemic, just the same. They provided access to healthcare, legal assistance, and mental health support, services that are so often denied to those in the community at other places. And yet, as society has progressed, so have our challenges. We face new forms of discrimination, from subtle microaggressions to overt legislative attacks across our entire country. Our communities are becoming more diverse. They have a wide range of identities and experiences. And despite this, many LGBT centers really remain limited in the scope that they can provide, unable to really address the full spectrum of challenges and barriers that we face today. For example, many have trouble accessing healthcare. Transgender individuals often struggle to find providers who actually respect and understand their needs. And then there's a giant mental health crisis. A recent study by the Trevor Project found that 41% of LGBTQ+ youth seriously considered attempting suicide in the past year, and including half of those that were transgender and non-binary. LGBT youth are actually 4 times more likely to attempt suicide as compared to their cisgender and heterosexual peers. And transgender youth were actually 6 times more likely, according to the National Institute of Health. This isn't limited to youth either. The American Association for Retired Persons recently found that LGBT adults actually want but don't have access to LGBT-sensitive care and services. 52% of those surveyed said that they fear discrimination in healthcare as they age. A majority of them really concerned with facing neglect, abuse, and verbal or physical harassment in long-term care facilities. So the question becomes, what's the solution? The solution lies in creating spaces that are not just inclusive, but transformative. Transformative spaces that adapt to the evolving needs of the community. These centers have to serve as more than just community spaces, but really catalysts for change. Right now, there is tremendous potential in technology and AI to really empower the people that need it most, and especially empower those that serve them. When technology and community engagement intersect, they really enhance accessibility, strengthen connection, participation, and inclusion. And for an LGBT center, or really any nonprofit for that matter, this is a game changer. So just think of a future where you have inclusive event experiences, like live translation and captioning for deaf or hard of hearing folks, or for people who speak different languages. Hybrid streaming platforms, allowing people to attend online while others attend in person. Community support gets personalized. AI-powered chatbots can provide on-demand resources, answer frequently asked questions, and direct people to local 24/7 services, making it easier for people to find support discreetly and quickly. We can use AI to convert all kinds of event flyers, newsletters, educational materials into other accessible formats like audio, braille, or even just more simplified text. We could probably go on all day with these examples, but maybe the most important is really AI-powered community hubs. Platforms that recommend events, groups, or resources tailored to people's individual interests or their accessibility needs, allowing them to foster deep community connection. We can also analyze all of those community conversations and surface trending topics and issues, ensuring that our center stays responsive to everything that the community needs. So what does the next generation of LGBT centers look like? Might be a cross of a startup and a nonprofit, but the possibilities are vast. They're filled with opportunities for growth, innovation, and lots of community empowerment. Right now in 2025, many cities, Manchester, New Hampshire included, have pockets of programming and resources for the LGBTQ community. But they're really scattered across different organizations and no centralized hub to support them. So while nonprofits, local colleges, grassroots organizations, they're offering tons of valuable events. And even though they have these services, it's not easy for community members to find them and access the full range of support available. The fragmentation leaves people feeling isolated, unaware of the resources that they can have that could really make a meaningful difference in their lives. The goal for us, bridge these gaps, serving as a connector that unifies existing programming, amplifies community efforts, and does our best to ensure that no one slips through the cracks. A centralized LGBT center will serve as both a physical space and a digital hub, bringing together organizations, events, and all these resources under one roof. By fostering collaboration with all of this technology, we can build a connected ecosystem where community members can easily access support, find affirming spaces, and get programming that's tailored to their needs. This approach doesn't just strengthen our existing initiatives, but it really creates new opportunities for growth, impact, and most importantly, lots of visibility. These spaces are community-driven and multifaceted. They foster intergenerational connections where young people can learn from their elders and vice versa. And they connect people with the services that they need: mental health support, job training, housing assistance, and so much more. But most importantly, they need to be innovative. At Manchester True Collaborative, we're building a center that doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it finds the right people that help us navigate the car. We're leveraging partnerships with many other nonprofits, and we're collaborating, allowing them to expand their reach and ours, all while maintaining our focus on inclusivity. So let's paint the picture of what's possible. Imagine walking into an LGBT center. You have your toy that you chose there, but at this place, it doesn't matter. This place feels like a second home. There are meeting rooms bustling with activity, a youth group in the corner, job skills workshop in another, downstairs, healthcare clinic providing hormone therapy, and down the hall, an elder sharing a story with some of their younger listeners, bridging generational gaps and building lots of understanding. The vision isn't just a dream, it's within our grasp. Our small, volunteer-run local organization is taking the steps to make this a reality. We're creating the space that embodies these ideals, and it can be done in other communities too. So take that step back in time again, and know that no matter what toy you chose, you're not alone. Anybody watching this is proof of that. Whether you're a participative ally, whether you're an advocate or a community champion, every step we take together. So volunteer your time, share your knowledge and skills, contribute resources if you can, or simply spread the word. Progress is never a straight line. It's a journey filled with lots of challenges, lots of setbacks, and hopefully many triumphs, big and small. Every step we take toward inclusivity brings us closer to a world where everyone can thrive.